Thank you for tapping into the first ever episode of the Mix Music Weekly, where we bring you the latest in music tech with none of that gossip stuff. So I guess we should start with the news, right? As of recording, NAMM 2025 should just have opened its doors. I'm looking forward to hearing about all the gadgets that are coming out of that show, but one thing that has really caught my attention is the collaboration or partnership between Novation and Clevgran. Novation being a very well-known UK-based hardware company and Clevgran being a really cool software company. So I'm expecting some really cool stuff to come out of that partnership. Next up, Temporal Drift will be reissuing Hiroshi Yoshimura's Flora album. On March 20th, 2025, the LA-based label will be reissuing the 1987 made album on vinyl, CD, cassette, and streaming platforms. Yoshimura passed at the early age of 63 and is a pioneer of Japanese ambient music. I think that's definitely one to put on your calendar, especially if you're an ambient music head. If you're looking for a new DAW, now might be the right time to try out Universal Audio's Luna. It got announced on Monday that version 1.8 has some big updates and you don't need any UA hardware to use the DAW. A few of the latest updates that UA announced were bouncing in place, track presets, browser updates, and numerous bug fixes to improve workflow. Whilst most of these updates are not groundbreaking in the world of DAWs, I think it's agreeable that these updates make Luna feasible to be in the conversation of DAWs. So at this very moment, you can pick up the free version of Luna. However, these lunatics at UA are basically giving away the free version at 1/4 of its usual price of $3.99 for its launch sale of $99. If you're thinking about testing out Luna or you already use it, let me know in the comments. If you had an internet connection last week, you're probably aware that Balloonerism, Macmiller's second posthumous album, dropped last week. With glowing reviews across the globe, Balloonerism holds a general score of 80 out of 100. Clash Music being one of the many high scores, saying, quote, "Feeling distinct from his broader catalogue, Balloonerism equally tethers itself to other points in Mac's work. There's a sense of cohesion here and a consistency of quality that highlights the intent that Macmiller had for his project." End quote. Rolling Stone felt a little less receptive of the album, with 3 out of 5 stars saying, quote, "For hardcore fans, the bulk of Balloonerism is nothing new. The songs have not been reinvented or seemingly dabbled with. Instead, the album sounds like outtakes from Mac Miller's 2013 sophomore effort, Watching Movies with the Sound Off, and faces the self-released mixtape that followed a year later." End quote. If you haven't checked out Balloonerism yet, I highly recommend that you do, and if you have, let me know in the comments what your favorite moments are. Currently, at this point in time, my favorite track is Mannequins, super eerie, love it. Jasmine 40, a 4-piece British indie rock band based in Manchester, released their debut album, You Are the Morning, with one review from Under the Radar and quote, "With each track, Jasmine offers momentary glimpses into her world, often taking small everyday moments and making them feel revelatory. While subtle folk and chamber pop arrangements colour most of the album, the quiet moments belie a wild chemistry at play when Jasmine and her band fully let loose." For me personally, I was taking notes on how well the guitars were mixed in that album. I would love to be able to implement that somehow for my own music. Boldy James and Rich Gaines released their latest effort, Murder During Drug Traffic. Whilst publications like Album of the Year gave it a 38 out of 100, Pitchfork gave it a 7.7 out of 10, saying, and quote, "Boldy's music has always carried a tinge of sadness beneath its detached aura. The kind of tragedies he describes would be hard for even the most unflappable brute to get past. But Murder During Drug Traffic touches on a deeper, more personal kind of melancholy. It's an album more about dangerous drug consumption than the dangers of the drug trade. Less concerned with the minute details of a pockmarked Detroit corner than addressing the complicated tangle of agony and panic that lingers after a near-death experience." End quote. Good Sad Happy Bad released All Kinds of Days. I'm not gonna lie, that album made me feel like I was experiencing a concert in my room. Pitchfork gave them a solid 7.9, saying, and quote, "All Kinds of Days may be far removed from the grand artistic strokes of much modern guitar music, but it's ambitious in its own quietly unassuming way." End quote. I think that it's got some real strong broadcast vibes. I enjoyed it. I don't know, give it a try. So what's happening next week? Well, next week is jam-packed with tons of great albums by awesome artists. I had to whittle it down to a manageable amount for next week's video, but I'm just going to give you a runoff of who's coming out. FKA Twigs, Eusexua, Pink Sifu, Black Antique, Mogwai, The Bad Fire, Boiler Maker, Not Enough Time to Get Anything Halfway Done, Benjamin Booker, Lower, JPEGMAFIA is releasing a director's cut of I Lay Down My Life For You with 13 additional tracks. So now let's talk about some drops on my radar. OK Lou, I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly, has been dropping track after track in a waterfall release, gearing up for her upcoming album Choke Enough, which I'm very excited about because if you've heard the tracks she's been dropping, they've been fire. One of my personal favorite rappers, Mike, is dropping Showbiz, a follow-up to their 2024 Pinball album. I've been following the singles he's been releasing so far this year and they have been deep to say the least, so I'm imagining something that's gonna probably make some people shed some tears. And Meribah is set to release The Breeze Grew a Fire, an album I'm very excited about. At this point, making it almost 6 years since The Jungle is the only way out, so I'm really looking forward to this one. If by some miracle you're still watching this video, then I have to thank you very much for even bothering to tap in. If you enjoyed it and you want more of it next week, let me know in the comments, and like, share and subscribe. Also, I am running a playlist of my favorite independent artists. I have the playlist going on Spotify and YouTube Music, but I'm more likely to update the YouTube Music one. If you feel like you should be on that playlist, hit me up in my DMs on Instagram, send me the track, and it may get added to the playlist. I've been Piccolo Black. See you next week.